Good afternoon, my name is Cheyenne Brown, and today we're going to be discussing female CEOs. The first one we're going to talk about is Katharine Graham. She was labeled the most powerful woman in journalism. She was born in 1917 to a very wealthy family. Her father purchased the Washington Post in 1933. In 1940, she was married to her husband, Philip Graham. At this point in her life, she took on being the doormat of her marriage, as she calls it, and being the tail to his kite. In 1963, Philip Graham died due to suicide. He suffered from manic depression, and due to the lack of medication to fix it, he had no other way. Now, after his death, his wife, Katharine Graham, immediately took reins and took over as CEO as the Washington Post continued to grow. Now, the male counterparts in her building did not respect her, nor did they value her opinion. She learned this firsthand in a meeting that one of her male co-workers held, in which he completely ignored her opinion when he asked for everyone else's. This ignited her fire, and it led her to publish the Pentagon Papers in 1971. Later, in 1972, she began her unyielding investigation of the Watergate scandal. This severely unhinged and irritated President Nixon, who threatened her multiple times, states the Washington Post, and he launched in another investigation into the Washington Post in order to have the papers brought down. In 2001, Katharine did pass away at the age of 84, but there was a movie made about her life starring Tom Hanks and Meryl Streep that was released in 2017. Now, the next CEO we're going to talk about is Mary Barra. She is the CEO of GM. She was appointed in 2014. She started working at GM when she was only 18 years old, while she attended the GM Institute in order to learn more about the company and more about cars. While she was working at the age of 18, she was doing inspections on parts such as hoods and fenders. She is still the CEO, as I stated, and she is doing a lot to bring out more electric cars to the fleet of vehicles that GM has. She did release a Chevy Bolt, which came out in 2017, which is the first electric car to be under $40,000. The 2022 version of the Chevy Bolt should be coming out later this year and early next year. Now, the last CEO we're going to talk about is Lynn Good. She is the CEO of Duke Energy. She became the CEO in 2013, and Forbes has her as the 23rd most powerful woman in business out of 100. She has a degree in accounting and system analysis, and she uses that in her job, and she is now trying to set climate goals in order to better the environment. Some of the goals she has set is that she wants to have 50% carbon reduction by 2030, and by 2050 she would like to have a net zero carbon emission. She is also being born in Fairfield, Ohio, and she is really working towards having cleaner energy for Duke. That wraps up our CEOs. Now, my closing statement is going to be that when America first started, and even in the beginning of time, women were seen as the caregivers, not the providers. It was very uncommon for a woman to lead a man back in the day, and it probably would be very surprising if anyone who lived back then would know that the first female CEO ever even existed, let alone for a company like Duke Energy or GM, something that are very male-dominated fields. That's just not something you see every day, but now it is becoming more prominent and more prevalent, which is a great thing, because now there are opportunities for everyone to grow and to learn more. Thank you for listening, and have a great day.